So YouTube, we are here with Jesse KOTTON himself, and we're going to be bringing to him Thunder Dragon and Chaos rulings. How confident are you that you can nail these Thunder Dragon rulings? How familiar are you with the Thunder Dragon cards and so on?
I feel pretty confident. So I've played Thunder for almost all 2019. I'm pretty confident with it.
Sounds good. So do you want to introduce yourself to the people that maybe don't know who you are? I'd be very surprised, but hey.
Sure. So my name is Jesse KOTTON. I'm a professional Yu-Gi-Oh player. I have 2 ICS wins and a UDS win, and I've been to Worlds 3 times, and a lot of other top cut finishes as well. And I am one of the coaches on the Duelist Academy Patreon.
So you feel pretty confident that you can get like a pretty high score?
I hope so.
So, just so you know, no pressure whatsoever, but the Twitch chat have already thrown their predictions out there. Because you are what is, one of the better players in the game, I've decided to throw you a little bit of a challenge. In order for the chat to win their channel points, you need to get 7 or more out of the 8 questions that I have for you correct. So you need to score 7 or 8 right. Otherwise, a lot of people are being scammed out of their channel points, and that'll be your fault. So no pressure, but it's okay. I'm sure you'll do great. All right, so let's get into our very first question. This is the current game state. You control Thunder Dragon Titan and Thunder Dragon Duo. You have Thunder Dragon in your hand. Your opponent controls Boral Sword. So the ruling question is going to pop up in the chat here. You control Thunder Dragon Duo, Thunder Dragon Titan. When you activate the effect of Thunder Dragon in your hand, which one of your monsters can activate their effect first here?
Make sure I remember these guys. It has been a while since I played the deck.
Yeah, I figure.
So are we like assuming my opponent? Were you saying like the first card only turn player can use?
Yeah, so you activate your Thunder Dragon. Your opponent decides they don't want to respond to the Thunder Dragon. Which one of your monsters can activate their effect first? The effect of Thunder Dragon Titan or the effect of Thunder Dragon Duo?
Titan.
You're saying Thunder Dragon Titan for what reason?
The when and versus it's the wording. I don't even know which the exact reasoning why, but the when you do means it has to be directly in response to the effect, and the way Duo is worded, it's going to be on a new chain afterwards.
Your final answer is that Thunder Dragon Titan can activate before the Thunder Dragon Duo can activate.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jesse, that is correct. And the reason why here is specifically because the effect of Thunder Dragon Titan is a quick effect that directly responds to the effect of the Thunder Dragon, as opposed to the Thunder Dragon Duo, which is actually a trigger effect. So it will trigger in a new chain after the effect of the Thunder Dragon.
That's
Titan.
the word.
Yeah, you were looking for trigger effect. That is the word that we were looking for. 1 for 1. The chat is very happy. They like to see it. They love to see it. Let's move on to our second ruling question we have here. So here you see Chaos Space in your hand and Thunder Dragon in your hand. The ruling question is going to pop up on the side. Chaos Space is activated by sending a Thunder Dragon from your hand to the graveyard. In response, your opponent activates the effect of DD Crow, targeting that Thunder Dragon in your graveyard. How does the effect of Chaos Space resolve in this scenario?
Chaos Space.
So it says send a light or dark monster from your hand to the graveyard. Add 1 light or dark monster that cannot be normal summoned or set from your deck to your hand with a level from 4 to 8 and with a different attribute than that monster.
Never thought about this. This is kind of weird.
And a neater interaction with some cards that you might see today. You could see this against Dragon Link and stuff like that. Could be something that comes up.
See, this wasn't. I haven't played as much in COVID, so this is definitely. I mean, I've played Chaos Space, but definitely not as much as I have other Thunder cards.
Yeah.
So I'm not. So the interesting thing here is obviously discarding to negate, discarding DD Crow wouldn't negate it or stop it from resolving because it's already met the cost, but it does say that it has to check for the opposite attribute of what you discarded. So I'm wondering if it's like a one of those cards that checks on resolution the stat almost. And if it can
you have spotted where the question is, so you are on the right track. The real question is, do you know whether or not it checks when it discards or when it resolves?
If it was on the field, I'd know the answer, but I don't know if the graveyard is different because I've never had to be in the situation.
Which one are you leaning more towards right now?
I honestly am pretty 50-50 on it because
okay.
I've never encountered this. Which I don't think I have.
I've already stumped him, chat. We're on the right track.
We pick cards from Thunder the Dragon decks that the cards I played with every week. It'd be a lot easier for me. But this is...
Yeah, we don't make it easy. I pulled up with questions for Sam about Cyber Dragon, and I pulled up like Cyber Dragon Zwei and Cyber Dragon Dry and all these guys.
I'm gonna say it still resolves.
Your final answer is that it still searches?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jesse, you would be correct, even though the Thunder Dragon you sent to the graveyard is no longer in the graveyard. Because you sent a light monster in order to activate the Chaos Space, you will be able to add a dark monster via its effect. It checks what it is that you discarded, and it does not check it in the graveyard after when the effect would resolve. Currently 2 for 2. You feeling good about that?
I don't like that one. That one I was pretty sure. I was like not sure about the reasoning, which is why I was thrown off. But I like to know the answer and then also understand it, not just
All right. Well,
know
sounds
from experience.
Good. All right. Moving on to ruling question number 3. Here we're going to be pulling out. We're going to be pulling out a bit of an older card, one that is banned and one that was played very early on in some Thunder Dragon / Dragon hybrid builds.
Oh,
so
it's Dark Matter. I thought it was going to be a stupid Tachyon Dragon ruling. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, we are indeed talking about our boy Dark Matter here. So here we are XC summoning for Dark Matter Dragon. If the opponent has less than 3 monsters in their deck, and you XC summon number 95, Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon, are you able to activate the effect of Dark Matter Dragon?
And in this circumstance, our opponent has
only 2 monsters in their deck, yeah.
But they have more than 3 cards. So
they have more than 3 cards in their deck, but they do not still have more than 3 monsters.
Yeah, but it's not like public knowledge that they have that they could possibly have 3.
Ooh, okay.
Right,
I see where you're going with this.
This card I have not summoned in a while, but I'm pretty sure been in spots where it's still resolved for 3 or less. But if it was only there were only 2 cards in the deck, I'd need to know. Obviously, you can't activate because it would never be able to resolve. You summon it, and your opponent will tell you can't activate it before you use it. It's weird. It's a cost to send. I'm pretty sure it just pays the cost and activates.
So in that sense, you would simply just pay cost and your opponent banishes nothing?
3 monsters. I would assume it banishes the 2 that are still in there.
So you're saying that you are allowed to activate the Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon, yes?
Yeah.
I will give you that. You are allowed to activate the effect of the Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon as long as there are at least 3 cards in your opponent's deck. There's no way for you to know. There's no way for you to know that they don't have 3 monsters remaining in their deck. Now, we'll go the extra mile. When you pay the cost for the Dark Matter Dragon, your opponent says, I do not have 3 monsters left in my deck. How does the effect resolve in this scenario? So you're saying that you'd still banish the 2 remaining ones?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes.
So in this situation, the effect of Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon actually does not banish any monsters from your opponent's deck because they only have 2, so they cannot banish the 3 monsters from their deck. Here, I will give you 0.5 because you got half of the answer correct.
Sure.
I will give you the 0.5 here. So you're currently on 2.5 out of 3. The doubters are scared. The believers are happy. They like to see that 0.5. Still feeling okay? 2.5 out of 3. You only missed half of 1 question. Not too bad at all. Going into number 4. Once again, you see a Borosar, the opponent's
another Borosar and a Titan. You know.
You have already activated a copy of Thunder Dragon Fusion this turn. Can you then activate the effect of Predaplant Verte Anaconda by sending another Thunder Dragon Fusion to the graveyard?
God, this is a question my student asked me and I couldn't answer the other day.
Oh wow! Well, then you should know the answer at this point.
Well, it was I couldn't find it online. I really was for Shaddoll Fusion, but
well, this time you'll
know. So you already used the effect of Thunder Dragon Fusion in special summon. Now you're asking me if you can Anaconda again.
So basically what I'm asking you is, does using the Verte Anaconda mean that you're using the effect of Thunder Dragon Fusion a second time? Jesse's he's looking, he's like, bro, okay. When I was at YCS Narnia top 4, this situation happened.
Yes. These, no interaction from when the deck was actually played. I'm going to say you can't use it, even though, I'm going to say you can't use it because you can only use the effect. You can only use the effect once.
So you cannot use the Verte Anaconda sending the Thunder Dragon Fusion here?
I'm going to say that, yeah. Although I can definitely see it going the other way. It's like going under a different name.
In this situation, you are allowed to activate the effect of the Predaplant Verte Anaconda sending the Thunder Dragon Fusion. It would be the same way with the Shaddoll Fusion like your student asked you. The reason why is because you cannot use the effect of Thunder Dragon Fusion again this turn. However, you're not using the effect of Thunder Dragon
But
Fusion.
it becomes the effect of Anaconda.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You're using the effect of Predaplant, Verte, Anaconda. So you are allowed to use the Verte, specifically because you've not used the effect of Verte Anaconda this turn, but even though you've used Thunder Dragon Fusion,
No,
it's
I
just
get that.
Verte Anaconda replaces its own effect with that effect of Thunder Dragon Fusion. This was question number 4. We are currently 2.5 out of 4. You cannot mess up one other question.
Well, you said it was 7 out of 8, right? So I would have lost
it.
it.
Is 7 out of 8.
That's why the 0.5 doesn't actually matter, right?
Chad, should I allow 6.5 to pass? Do I allow 6.5 as a pass? I feel like all those that have believed will say yes, and all the doubters will say no. Chat, I'm allowing 6.5 to be a pass. I'm gonna give Jesse Cotton a lifeline here, because I'm bringing a couple of questions that are a little bit cheesy. So I'm going to give him a little bit of a lifeline. If you get 6.5, the people will get their stonks. We are bringing the Chaos Creator and Chaos Valkyria to the table. This is the type of thing that you could find on a lot of other cards. Cards that have restrictions when cards are sent to a specific location. So in this case, if you use the Chaos Creator banishing the Danger Tsuchinoko in your graveyard and the Chaos Valkyria, the effect of Macrocosmos is applying. You special summon Chaos Creator by banishing Valkyria and the Danger Tsuchinoko. Now you activate the effect of Chaos Valkyria, which says that if it is banished, you can send a light or dark monster from your deck to the graveyard, but for the rest of this turn, you cannot activate cards or the effects of cards with the same name as that card. So if you Chaos Valkyria dump a monster under Macrocosmos, that monster gets banished instead of being sent to the graveyard. You choose to banish the Thunder Dragon Dark. Can you activate that effect of the Thunder Dragon Dark that was banished instead of being sent to the graveyard by the effect of Chaos Valkyria?
There are more cards that I haven't had to deal with. So my first instinct here is, it says but for the rest of the turn, so it's not, I don't, pretty sure that wording doesn't mean the first part has to happen for that to for that to resolve. And saying that card, I don't think it really means it has to go to the grave. I think it can be banished as well. So I'm going to say you cannot use the effect of the dark.
You are saying you cannot use the effect of the Thunder Dragon Dark. Is that your final answer, Jesse?
That is my final answer.
All right. Well, unfortunately, you can activate the effect of the Thunder Dragon Dark because the restriction on Chaos Valkyria, as well as other cards that say send it to a specific location, but you cannot use its effect or something like that, applies to the card specifically needs to be returned to that specific location. It works a little bit similarly to the Sunlight Wolf that says that you need to return the monster to your hand so that you cannot then summon it that turn. In this situation, if you use Sunlight Wolf, return a monster to the extra deck, you would be allowed to summon it again. Chaos Valkyria works the same way.
Okay, that makes sense.
It needs to go to the location where that it was named so that the restriction is applied. So here under being banished by Chaos Valkyria because of the Macrocosmos, the Thunder Dragon Dark is allowed to activate. All right, we got 3 more to go. We are currently 2.5 out of 5. You are still in the running to potentially...
So I've lost you. I've lost all the people who bet, but oh well.
It is what it is. But at this point, you are still in the running to beat out your own friend Sam. Sam got a solid 4 out of 8 on his quiz, so you're out here playing to try and clap him. If you get the next 3 correct, you beat both Triff and Sam. If you miss one, you're below the threshold to beat Triff, but you're still above the threshold to beat Sam. Ready to go?
Sure, okay.
In this situation, you normal summon the Eclipse Wyvern, and your opponent flips a Torrential Tribute. When the Torrential Tribute resolves, you will destroy your Eclipse Wyvern and use a Thunder Dragon Colossus, banishing Thunder Dragon Roar to protect itself. Your opponent has a set Sangan, which is destroyed. So here, you banish the Thunder Dragon Roar to protect Colossus, your opponent destroys their own Sangan, and you destroy your own Eclipse Wyvern. After this, what is the following chain link?
It should be mandatory effects first, right? So Wyvern... Sangan's still mandatory, get it added.
Sangan is indeed a mandatory effect.
Oh, but can't activate. Oh, after the Colossus. So just Wyvern 1 and then... Oh, those are still... I don't think it can activate, so...
Ooh. Well, you've spotted where one of the big points of the question is, are you allowed to activate the mandatory effect of Sangan under Thunder Dragon Colossus?
Okay, I'm pretty sure it still activates. So it'd be, then the Sangan 2, and then the Roar would be 3.
So the chain link here you are saying is Eclipse Wyvern chain link 1, Sangan chain link 2, and Thunder Dragon Roar chain link 3?
Yeah.
You are correct, Jesse. After this chain resolves, the effect of Eclipse Wyvern is activated first, Sangan's effect will be activated second, and then Thunder Dragon Roar will be activated third. The reason why is because mandatory effects need to activate even if they cannot resolve. So in this case, even though under Colossus you cannot add with Sangan, you still trigger the Sangan because it's a mandatory effect, and when the Sangan would resolve, if the Colossus is on field, you simply do not resolve the effect of the Sangan. It resolves without effect and will not add a card from the deck to the hand. Jesse, currently 3.5 out of 6. Still in the running. You get this next one right, you beat out Sam. You get the next two right, you beat out Triff and Sam. Are you ready for question number 7?
Guess so.
Let's get the show on the road. This is also one that you've probably encountered at some point. This is the field, and it's gonna require a little bit extra thinking, but it's with cards that I'm sure you've seen and played with each and every one of these. So I know it's a little bit of an intimidating board.
very curious what the ruling question is here.
You're like, where is this going? Interesting. So the question here is, you control Chaos Emperor the Dragon of Armageddon, a Chaos Ruler that was special summoned from the graveyard by its own effect, an Apollosa, a Brotar, and a Guard Dragon Pisty. In this situation, is there any way that you can special summon the Trishula, the Dragon of Icy Imprisonment, so that it gains its effect to banish 3 cards?
What do you mean? Yes.
Yes? Okay, so what would that combination of 3 monsters be?
Not the Chaos Emperor, it's the other 3 dragons.
So you're saying if you banish the Chaos Ruler that was summoned from the graveyard by its own effect, the Brotar and the Pisty, you would be able to use the Trishula effect to banish 3 cards?
Yeah.
Final answer?
That is the final answer.
All right. Well, Jesse, you are correct. The reason why this was the question that was asked is specifically to test whether or not you knew that the card simply needs to end up in the proper location rather than be sent there specifically by the effect of the Trishula. Because if you use the Chaos Emperor, it goes back to the bottom of the deck, as you know. But the Chaos Rule that was summoned from the graveyard by its own effect says that it will banish itself if it leaves the field. But because the Trishula just requires that the monster gets banished, even though it banishes itself by its own effect when it leaves the field, it still reaches the condition required for the Trishula to be able to banish three cards here. So in that case, you are correct, and you are allowed to use the Pisty, the Brotar, and the Chaos Ruler to summon the Trishula and gain the effect to banish 3 cards.
This is one I've actually had come up, so yeah, this is something I've done.
Wait, you've played Thunder Dragons with Chaos Ruler, or what was the card that had it come up?
Was no, maybe not Chaos Ruler. Well, I think it was the Brotar summoned by its own effect.
Oh, that's also possible. Yeah, Brotar also gets banished if it leaves the field. Okay, so this one was one of those that you knew all the cards. The next one won't be as nice. For the last one, I decided to throw you like the biggest wrench I could possibly think of. My mods tried to convince me not to use this card, but I decided, fuck it, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. So you're currently
pole position nonsense or something.
It's not pole position, but it's one that'll probably have your cogs turning for a little bit.
Okay.
So very simple board state. Your opponent controls 2 monsters. You have a Chaos Dragon Levianeer in your hand. I'm sure you're quite familiar with what this card does and how it works.
Yeah.
In your graveyard, you have a Thunder Dragon Dark, a Thunder Dragon
What is that?
And an Element Saber Molehu. All right? So,
oh my God.
you're gonna want to pull up the effect of Element Saber Molehu, because this is the one that matters. It's a dueling card apparently, so if you play Duel Links, you're gonna know what this guy does. The reason why we are asking the question with Element Saber Molehu is that it has the effect that says once per turn, if this card is in your graveyard, you can declare 1 attribute. This card in the graveyard becomes that attribute until the end of this turn. So, in this situation, you have used the graveyard effect of the Element Saber Molehu, declaring light attribute. Alright, so it's originally a dark attribute monster, but you declare light attribute, so it becomes light while in the graveyard. If you summon your Chaos Dragon Levianeer, banishing the 2 dark monsters in your graveyard, and the now light Element Saber Molehu, which effect of Chaos Dragon Levianeer will you be able to activate once it is summoned? I decided I was going to throw in a little bit of a wrench. How are you feeling about this one, Jesse?
So, first impression is, I'm assuming that it's the Molehu would not keep its stat when it gets banished. But I don't know if the Levianeer checks when it immediately banishes, or
Okay, so I'll give you that. The Molehu, after it is banished, is no longer a light monster. It turns back into a dark monster.
Yeah, I just don't know if the Levianeer checks at which point. Okay,
Are you leaning towards one or the other more, or is it 50-50 in your head?
I'm leaning towards it can activate, or it can't activate because it checks the monsters banished for the summon, and the monsters banished are 3 darks. I'm gonna say it pops because the summoning condition had it banishing light and darks.
So
together.
final answer, you could use the
That's
effect
the final
is
answer.
activated
If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Yeah.
Both a light and a dark monster. Jesse Cotton, you will be able to flex on Sam and Trip because you got this one correct. Chaos Dragon Levianeer does check what monsters it banished, what attributes they were at the moment where it itself has banished them. So yes, here, the Chaos Dragon Levianeer will be able to activate the effect to destroy up to 2 cards on the field, scoring you a very solid 5.5 out of 8, putting you just above Sam and just above Triff. How are you feeling about that score, Jesse?
A little upset I missed the Anaconda one. It's one I honestly should have known, but I just kind of neglected to ever learn it because I hadn't needed to.
I'm sure that you've learned something new throughout this. I hope you found it interesting, you found it fun to play along and give it a try.
It was interesting. Did not expect these ruling questions. I guess if I obviously didn't expect them or I would have knew them.
Thank you so much, Jesse, for coming on. I appreciate it. You're the very first pro player that I've gotten on the show. To all other pro players and you YouTubers that are out there, I'm extending to you guys an invite if you guys do want to come on the show. To all those of you that have like multiple YCS stops and want to test your knowledge and see if you can match up with the best of the ruling game knowledge, well, I'm ready to test you guys out. So, to all those of you that are watching at home and on YouTube, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys. Peace!